Hello, hello. We are writing a sentence about what you would do if you were a sheep. Oh, I've never really thought about what I would do if I was a sheep. What would you do if you were a sheep? Sheep live on farms, so you would probably live on a farm. You see them in fields, right? So, what would be fun to do if you were a sheep? Eating grass? No, that doesn't sound very fun. Eating grass? No, that doesn't sound like it would taste very good. Well, if you were a sheep, you could run and you could play in the grass, in the field. What else could you do? Well, you could play with the other animals. That would probably be fun because they have like pigs and cows and chickens and ducks. And all animals can do different things. So you'd have friends that could fly, friends that could play in the mud, friends that could run and gallop. So I think that would be a good sentence. If I were a sheep, I would play with all the animals. So we got to make sure that you help me remember that sentence. Because once we have it in our brain, we really need to stick to that sentence. If I were a sheep, I would run and play with all the animals. They're going to be friends with everyone because you are going to be a kind sheep. All right. Okay, we're going to start with if. And that's a capital I, which is down, over. If, here a F. Leave a space. You know the word I. Were was a sight word today. So we know how to spell were because we actually saw it in our writing and we actually saw it on every single page. So if I were and then we have the word a. If I were a sheep, we saw that in our reading too. S-H-E-E-P. If I were a sheep, S-H is a blend. Put it together and it's shh. So we have shh. Eep. If I were a sheep, I. And then we have the word would. And I'm going to help you with that because the middle of the word is kind of hard for you to hear. It's a better word to memorize. Some words are just better to memorize. I, leave a space, would, W, and then it's O-U-L, would. What do you hear at the end? That's right, it's a D. That word is would. If I were a sheep, I would. Do you remember the next word in our sentence? Play. Play is an action word that many of you know, and you can sound it out pretty well. So we're going to go with p, p. What do you hear? Say it out loud. Tell me what to write. What do you hear? P, p. That's right. It's a P. Pla. Do you hear that L? Play, circle stick, and there's a Y. That word is play. If I were a sheep, I would play with Leave a space. Do you hear that W? Down, up, down, up. W-I. And then we have a blend. 2 letters come together to make with. Do you know what 2 letters? This is kind of a 3rd grade question. With. T-H. With. If I were a sheep, I would play with all. All. Leave a space. The, which is a sight word, so you should know it. The. And then animals, our strategy for animals is to clap. When we have long words that can be broken up into small parts to make it easier, that's what we want to do. Animals. So what do you hear at the beginning? An. I. You hear that I? An. I. Moles. Say moles. Clap animals. Clap it right now. Clap animals. So we have an. I. Moles. And what do we put at the end? Period. That word right there, I have a lot of animal lovers, so I want you to know that word. That word is animals. We always go back and reread everything when we're done. Reread, reread, reread. If I were a sheep, I would play with all the animals. What a nice sentence you wrote. That is really good. You have a great Friday.